welcome to the Crochet Challenge for Warm Up America 2023. Over the next several weeks, you'll join hundreds of crocheters in making this beautiful blanket for a patient being cared for at Saber Health Group, a long-term senior care facility in the U.S. It's a big commitment, but it'll mean the absolute world to the person who receives it. To complete the challenge, you're asked to finish your blanket and send it to Warm Up America by February 28th, 2023. If you haven't already seen this video where I talked about the challenge last week, you'll want to check that one out first, because in this video, we're just getting right into the pattern. But that one has all the information you need to know about the challenge, the details, all the important stuff. This video, we're just getting into the pattern because many of you have been waiting, you're ready, you're excited to get started. So let's get started. So to demonstrate all the steps involved in making the blanket, I'll make a smaller, scaled down swatch. That way you can see what I'm doing a lot more clearly. And since you're free to be as creative as you want with color, you can start with any color you'd like. Just keep in mind that the color you start with will be the color you see on the long side of the blanket. This blanket starts off with foundation half double crochet stitches. So make your slip knot and 2 chains. And notice the 2 loops here. You'll yarn over and insert your hook to catch both of those loops. Then yarn over and pull up a loop. And make sure you pull up quite a bit on that loop so it's nice and level with the rest. Then yarn over and pull through 1. And yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's 1 foundation half double crochet made. Now see this loop here and the one back here? That's where you'll stick your hook for the next foundation half double crochet. So remember, yarn over, insert your hook so you're catching both of those loops, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that's all there is to the foundation half double crochet. You'll make a total of 161 of these, which will make up the long edge of the blanket. So we're actually working this blanket from side to side instead of bottom to top. The stitch pattern used in this blanket is called the feather stitch, and it's one of my absolute favorites. It makes a thick and squishy fabric, so it's perfect for extra warm blankets. Plus, it's a simple 1-row repeat, so it's really easy to memorize. Now, real quick on the topic of the pattern, you can find those written instructions linked in the description and the pinned comment below. You'll definitely want to have that on hand as you work through this blanket. Okay, so the foundation half double crochet row is our first row in the pattern. Row 2 is a setup row. So for this one, chain 1 and turn. Then half double crochet in the first stitch here, catching both loops. And we aren't counting this chain 1 as a stitch, which is why we're working the half double crochet here. All right, now chain 1, skip the next half double crochet, and half double crochet in the next. And repeat that to the end of the row. Now with the setup row out of the way, we can get to the really interesting part. So chain 1 and turn, then half double crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, now yarn over, insert your hook through this chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up a loop, and pull it up to match the height there, then yarn over again, insert your hook in the skipped half double crochet right there in the row below, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over again, insert the hook into this chain 1 space over here, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through all 7 loops on the hook. And that's 1 feather stitch completed. Now chain 1, and repeat for another feather stitch. And keep going to the end of the row. Now, one thing I'll say about this row is this is the only time that you'll work into a free half double crochet here. On subsequent rows, you'll work in a slightly different space, but don't worry, I'll show you that here in just a minute. When you reach this point in the row, make your chain 1 and half double crochet in the last stitch. Now that will leave a little bit of a gap there, but no worries. We'll fill that in with the next row. Now for this next row, our repeat is technically the same, but it looks a little different because we don't have those free half double crochets to work into. So chain 1 and turn, then half double crochet in the first stitch. And by the way, you'll do that at the beginning of every row from here on out, so you can go ahead and commit that one to memory. Then make a feather stitch using this chain 1 space, then the space here directly below, and then this space here. Chain 1 and keep going. At the end of the row, you'll chain 1 and half double crochet in the last stitch, so nothing new here. Chain 1 and turn, and repeat the same row over and over. Now this stitch is a lot of fun, but a word of caution. Since the size of the stitch is determined by how high you pull up those yarn overs, this means that matching gauge can be a little bit of a headache. It's always a good idea to make a little swatch before you dive into your blanket so that you can match the gauge of the pattern. That way you don't run into any surprises with the yarn you have on hand or the sizing towards the end of the project. To make the swatch, you can follow the same instructions, the first section of the pattern, but just make any odd number of foundation half double crochets to get you started. Now the challenge details say you can be as creative as you want with color. We really want this project to be a creative and fun opportunity for you, so feel free to make as many stripes or color blocks as you want. The pattern will spell out our stripe pattern exactly, so you can follow that if you want to, but you don't have to if that's not the blanket you want to make. But I'm guessing you probably will want to add another color at some point. So when you get to the point that you need to change colors, there are a couple different ways to go about it. The first is the magic knot method. This is a great way of changing colors if you hate weaving in ends, but it does leave a little knot in the edge of the project. But no worries because the fringe completely hides this. To do this, finish the last half double crochet in the row before you want to change colors and remove your hook. Then cut the loop roughly in the middle and undo that last half double crochet. Tie the new yarn around this little tail . Then use the little tail to tie a knot around the new color. Pull each yarn to slide the two knots together and pull it real tight. Then you can trim these little tails right down to the knot because anytime there's tension on the knot, the magic part is that the knot just gets tighter. Now a lot of people swear by this knot, and I haven't personally had this knot fail me ever before. But if this isn't your cup of tea, you can always add new yarn in the more traditional way. So this blanket is made up of 120 feather stitch rows, and you can follow our stripe pattern exactly, or you can do your own thing. Either way, just be sure that you have 120 rows before you move on to the next step. The last 2 rows of the blanket are designed to mimic the look of the foundation half double crochet row on the opposite side. So start off with a chain 1 and turn, then half double crochet in the first stitch, and in the chain 1 space here. Then half double crochet in the next feather stitch and in the next chain 1 space. And just keep going until you reach the end of the row. And in the last stitch. Next, you'll chain 1 and turn one last time, and slip stitch in every stitch. Then fasten off and weave in the ends. Now you're close, but you're not done yet. Next, we need to add the fringe. The fringe helps conceal the color changes, and it gives a nice clean look to an otherwise raw edge. Each little fringe tassel is made up of 4 strands held together. You'll cut the strands to 6 inches and fold them in half. And now find the space between 2 feather stitch rows, the half double crochet on the edge of the row. Then stick your hook in that space from back to front. Place the folded over bits of yarn on your hook and pull it through. Then pull the ends through the loop and pull tight. Now I know this part seems tedious, but it really does go much faster than you'd think. I had all the fringe done in just a couple hours. Remember, to complete the challenge, you have to have your finished blanket postmarked to Warm Up America at this address by February 28th, 2023. In the packaging, please also include a donation form and be sure to write in Brittany B.Hooked in the campaign section. That way Warm Up America can keep track of the blankets sent in from this challenge. So just a little reminder that the challenge hub page where you're finding the pattern and all the details, that's linked in the description below. I'm putting it in a pinned comment too so you don't miss it. Like, that's the page that you need to have bookmarked for this challenge. It has all the details, including the pattern, how to send it to Warm Up America. Like, everything you need to know to finish this challenge is on that page. If you have any questions whatsoever, I can almost guarantee you'll find it in that page. So definitely check that out. And lastly, I just want to say thank you so much. The time investment, the money investment, every part of it, every part of you that you have put into this challenge, it's going to be such an incredible gift for the person who receives it. And I just want to say thank you. I know what's involved. I know how much you have put into this. It means the world to me. It means the world to Warm Up America. And it absolutely will mean the world to the person who receives your blanket. Happy hooking, and I'll see you in the next one.